Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-October 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Saggies. Hope you're all doing fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for Sagittarius here in mid-October? It's Libra season. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy in mid-October. What's happening? Let's get this card out nice and quick. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. And I've been seeing this in a lot of the fire signs this week with the lead-off energy. It's very water sign-like, very watery. And this one does seem pretty chill and relaxed. It could be daydreaming. There's a lot going on in the mind of this card. But yeah, if you're connected to a water sign, their energy could be showing up prominent, because I see this in water sign readings often. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So we see this lady, she's chilling there. It's like she has a little journal. I like to think it's a dream journal. There's bubbles in the air. The background looks like a sunset. It's very etheric. It reminds me of the Four of Cups as well. So we're in that space of imagination. We're in that etheric space, subtle energy space. Whereas with people that are fire signs like us, we're all about action. We're generally in the material world. And yes, we could be very spiritual and philosophical as well, but we're more about physical, tangible results. This card is a little more etheric. So just know in this time, maybe you're daydreaming a little more than you normally do, thinking about certain things a little more than you normally do with this. This can be really good. It could also connect to sleep. Okay, so your creativity could be off the charts when this card is here. So just know that any creative pursuit or endeavor is highly favored when this card shows up. So whether it's music, whether it's art, that self-expression is really important. But another message I will give with this card, it does connect to sleep and dreams. So make sure you're getting proper rest and relaxation. Also watch the dreams that you're having. If you have any vivid or interesting ones, maybe write it down. But we're just going to leave it at that. I could keep talking about it. Let's see what tarot has for you. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffled up one time here for my beautiful Saggies. What's happening in mid-October? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, to talk about last week's reading, it was titled A Serious Talk. Now, from what I know about beautiful Sagittarius energy, you guys do have a fantastic sense of humor. Great at telling jokes. And something about serious talks that's a little different from what I usually understand as Sagittarius energy. Now, that doesn't mean you can't talk about things seriously. But when I see a reading like I saw last week, there might be something you need to address, like maybe something you've been putting it on the back burner, or either that or somebody wants to sit you down and have a talk. But let's see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the Saggies, please. What is happening? Yeah, the energy last week was very, very stern and structured, and it's a little different than what I normally get with the Saggy readings. There we go. We got a little bit of fire showing up for you here. We got the 7 of Wands, position number 1. That could be very good, but at the same time, it could be a little dicey. It depends. Let's get a couple more. What do we have here for Saggy, please? I like it. Okay, a card that could represent you. We got the King of Wands. Remember, the core cards are not gender specific whatsoever, so just keep that in mind. Big fire sign energy. Let's get one more. One more for Saggy. October Saggy, please. And yours differs from the Leo reading, that's for sure. Like Aries was fire heavy, Leo was earth heavy. It seems like you got the fire-air combination platter going on with the star here on the back end. Okay, so I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about the energy I'm seeing for you this week, Sagittarius. I really am. There's good long-term possibilities too for however that fits into your situation. But let's go through and I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always look at the elements first. We got to double down to this fire energy with the wands. Now, fire in tarot, it represents the world of action, doing things, making moves, not sitting still, making progress, like full steam ahead type of energy. But in the challenging aspect of fire, I always say it could be unpredictable. It could be a little explosive. It could be a little volatile. So it all really depends. I do feel like we're leaning a little positive here so far. But we do have the star on the back end, which is Aquarius energy. That's air element. And whenever I say fire and air shows up in the spread, you know the deal. When you mix fire and air, it could make things flare. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, because I love the star here. That's really positive, especially for long-term things. But position number one, we're starting with the Seven of Wands. Now, you know, every single reading, I like to give you the positive and the challenge, both sides of the coin. So we'll start with the positive since I'm optimistic. The Seven of Wands, we see that individual there. It's like he's standing up on a wall. He has a stick and he's like fending people off. He's fighting. In the positive sense, this is a huge card of determination. So if you are going through any situations or problems or things that are slowing you down, things that are uncomfortable, this card does say, like, you'll get through it. It's like, no one's going to stop me. That's what this energy is like. Yeah, there's nothing you could put in front of me that I can't overcome. So I love the confidence of this card. It's really nice. So much determination, and it could be overcoming things. But in the challenge, you see that person there kind of cornered. So this card could sometimes show up if you're feeling trapped, if you're feeling if you're feeling cornered, if you're feeling attacked. This card can represent imprisonment in one sort of way. And I don't mean literal imprisonment, but it's like just feeling like your back's against the wall. It's not the nicest thing. It could represent tough situations, problems that you might be going through. So we'll want to look into this further. Okay. But I do feel, again, just to say it, that these energies are leaning optimistic. So even if we get rough clarifiers, I'm like, okay, it's at least going somewhere. Like this energy's moving somewhere. Position number two, we have the King of Wands. Now, as I mentioned, the core cards are not gender specific. This is a card that can link to Sagittarius. So in my simplistic style, this card could tell us something that's coming towards you when we clarify it, or what you might be feeling, unless you're linked to another fire sign. Now, kings represent control of their respective suit. And I already told you a whole bunch about the wands, about the fire. It's about action. This card is about focusing your intentions, making sure you're paying attention to the right things, making sure you're not wasting your time, not wasting your energy. This is a very enterprising, entrepreneurial type of energy too. So the positives of the King of Wands are really great. But when it comes to the challenge, when he shows up in reverse, it could represent losing control, somebody whose energy is scattered, or somebody that's not really paying attention to what they should be when this card shows up in reverse. But we're not going to go there yet, because I don't feel like that's necessarily the case. I like the King of Wands here because it can be very simple. We don't always have to overcomplicate things, right? The readings can be very straightforward. Now, getting to the back end, we have the Star card, one of the best cards in the whole entire deck. For a portion of you, might be connected to an Aquarius. Maybe you have some Aquarius placements yourself. The Star, to me, first and foremost, wish fulfillment when you wish upon a star. So this could be a win of some kind, a victory of some kind. I also link this to someone feeling optimistic or hopeful, like a light at the end of the tunnel. This is someone who feels like everything's going to be okay. They might not know how or how something's going to shake out, but they just know deep down inside that everything is going to work out and everything will be okay. And that's what makes me love this card so much. Again, if we're looking at times, I know these readings are more so for like the week ahead, but when we see the star, we're thinking long term, we're thinking long swaths of time. So maybe look down the line a couple years, 5 years, 10 years, who knows, and maybe plan for the long term if possible when the star is here. Now, the challenge of the star in reverse, all those things I was just talking about, it can be the opposite. Right? It could be someone that's feeling hopeless, someone that feels like, no long-term prospects and stuff like that. But we're not going to fully go that route until we clarify it. Again, elementally with the fire-air combination, things could be prone to change very quick. But I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for the Saggies. Let's see what's happening, please. What's going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Seven of Wands? And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Seven of Wands time. What's happening? Thank you. Two of Cups in reverse. Okay, so for some of you in this time, now might be a great time to be in hermit mode for whatever reason, because when I see the Two of Cups in reverse, it tells me a couple different things. Either there's a very specific individual that you might not be seeing eye to eye with right now, where the energy could be extremely tense when this combination is here with the Two of Cups in reverse. Either that, or maybe some Saggies out there are like, no, I don't really have time to put a lot of energy into something, whether this be a friendship or something else. I feel like it feels very busy, very busy, very busy. So just know, if like you're in that mode where you got a lot on your plate, you're doing a lot of things, there could be someone you're connected to. I don't want to say it feels like they feel neglected, but you might need to reconnect with somebody or check in. I don't know why that's showing up the way it is. Now, again, we could be looking at somebody you're connected to, aside from all the stuff I just said. When we have the Seven of Wands, remember, confrontational, Two of Cups in reverse, this could be somebody that is upset, angry, mad, or even on edge. So we'll want to see how the rest of this plays out, but it just feels very aggressive. So there might be someone you're connected to where they're either coming at you a different way, or they're acting a little funky, they're acting a little aggressive. It feels like a lot. So yeah, a lot of information just came through there. We're going to keep it moving. We'll talk about it more during the recap, but yeah, let's just keep it going. Let's see what that King of Wands has to say. There could be somebody that's a little upset though. But again, you can't control other people's feelings, right? Let's see what's going on with that King of Wands. What's the King of Wands here? Thank you. Three of Wands. I just feel a very busy energy here, Sagittarius. So if you haven't been busy, if you don't have a lot on your plate and you don't have a lot on your hands, I feel like that's going to change very soon. I feel like business is going to pick up. Something's almost here. Okay, something either you've been working for or something you've been wanting. It's like, it's almost here. It's almost time. It's almost ready to go. I don't know why I'm getting that impending type of energy. But the Three of Wands to me is a big card of manifestation, waiting around a little bit. And it's something that's right there. So just know, I want to see how it shows here on the back end. I'm still getting this energy of win and victory already. And we didn't even get to the star yet. So just know, for a lot of you, something's about to go down, or it's almost here. It's almost there. So if you've been manifesting something, it's within reach. But aside from that, I'm getting a very busy energy with all this fire and the King of Wands. It's like, yeah, I have a lot on my plate. I have a lot on my mind. So let's just keep moving. Again, it doesn't feel bad. If anything, the center feels good. This is where the disgruntled energy is coming from in the front. So let's see what's up with that star card. So these could be totally different situations. Just know, yeah, there could be someone you're connected to where they might be feeling like ignored in some way. I don't know why that message keeps coming out, Saggy, but someone might be feeling like ignored or pushed to the side. Let's see why the star is here. What's going on with the star? Okay. Yeah, Death card in the upright. Don't get nervous about that card. That's big Scorpio energy. Okay. This is a huge card of metamorphosis and change. Okay, so just know, for a lot of you, there could be a lot of things within your life. And life is about perpetual change, right? Nothing ever stays the same forever. Life is all about adaptation, evolution. Things are always going to progress in different ways. But when we see the Death card underneath the star, it's like, for a big portion of Saggies in this time, if you look back at now in 2 years, it might be unrecognizable. Okay, I see for a lot of Sagittariuses with the star and the Death card, it's like, okay, just know, like, you're going to be making some massive changes very soon. So whether that's changes of the lifestyle, changes of the people you're connected to, or in general, like when I see the star and the Death card, it's like there's somebody that's going to go through a massive transformation or change. It feels very big here on the back end, and it could be karmic as well. The Death card's not bad to me. Generally, I think of somebody rising from the ashes like a phoenix. So this is someone remaking themselves too. If you're not connected to a Scorpio or an Aquarius here on the back end. But aside from that energy of massive change, that message coming through, like in a couple of years, if you were to look back at yourself right now, it would be almost unrecognizable for one reason or another, and not in a bad way. Okay, so there's this really powerful energy of transformation that either you're undergoing it or you're about to, and it feels good. It feels like it's moving in a positive direction. There's just a really strong energetic intensity here, Saggy. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Take from this what you will, then we'll get into the shadow card. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, this back end is looking good, right? Like the position number 1 is where we get a little bit of that disgruntled type of energy, but we have the 7 of Wands with the 2 of Cups in reverse. So some Saggies out there, you might be keeping your distance from certain individuals. You might be in hermit mode yourself, like, no, I really don't have a lot of time to socialize, or I don't really have a lot of time for this. But aside from that, this could be representing an individual you're connected to that could be in their feelings, right? They could be upset, angry, mad, or even on edge. And I was getting this message early on that there might be someone that's feeling pushed to the side or feeling ignored. I felt that in both spots. So there might be someone you need to touch base with. I mean, if you want to, right? You have free will. Moving to the center, we have the King of Wands with the 3 of Wands. And I did say this felt like a victorious energy, that something's coming, something big that you've either been manifesting or wanting. It's like, it's almost here. It's almost here. It's almost go time, Saggy. But I was also getting this vibe of being very busy. Okay, so if times have been slow, things have been quiet, I don't feel like that's going to persist for long with this energy. It's just a lot happening, a lot going on. Moving to the back end, we do have the Star card with the Death card in the upright. Now, this doesn't just have to represent yourself in the situations. This is powerful energy of long-term transformation, massive change. Okay, so for a lot of you, yeah, maybe there are certain connections that are changing. Maybe there are certain things about yourself that are changing. To me, it just felt like in a couple years, if you look back at yourself now, it's going to be very different. You are going to be a very different person, and not necessarily in a bad way. So just know a lot of you could be about to undergo a very massive change here. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And I mean, I would also say that this is really good on the back end, because it tells me that things you're going through right now, like, I don't feel like certain things are set in stone 100%. So just know if you're going through certain problems, like, there's still room for growth. There's still wiggle room. That's how it's showing up to me. But yeah, let's get you a shadow card. And yeah, I always say I like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. That could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love to all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out for you. Thank you. Okay, 4 of Pentacles showing up in the shadows. All right, so for a small portion of you, when I see this 4 of Pentacles, you see that little individual there. It's a scary piece of imagery, but he's holding on to that pentacle. He's not letting something go. So I feel like this energy could show up in 2 different ways when we're looking at a shadow card. For some of you, you might be saving up for a big purchase, or Spirit could be asking you to look at your budget for whatever reason when this is here. So, I mean, if you're saving for a big purchase, it's showing up here. But to me, it's like, all right, well, watch the spending, watch the money. Like, there might be something you need to look at a little further when the 4 of Pentacles is here. But when we're talking about emotional things, in a reading that was so intense and so heavy with the transformative power, and we see this 4 of Pentacles, just know there could be something. I'm not saying you're holding on to something, but there could be something that's like stopping this transformation from kicking into full gear. Okay, there could be just something nagging and just really stopping this transformation from going full go. Okay, whether it's you're holding on to something or somebody's holding on to you type of energy, it could be all energetic for all I know. If you have dealings with any individuals that are very possessive or jealous or anything like that, this card is an indicator of that as well. But I do feel like it could break to either the financial or something that still needs to be resolved before this change kicks in. So Saggy, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar for the month of October at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Tarot of the Owls. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments, hypothetically, if you had to get a tattoo of a tarot card, which one would you choose and why? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love. I'll see you again soon.